Hello. Hello, friends. I'll give everybody a minute or two to jump on because I know that Facebook or Instagram sometimes take a minute to let people know. Let me know when you're on, like give me a wave or something. I'm just going to turn these lights on. I'm not blinding you all. Hi. I can see a few jumping on, which is exciting. Hello. Tell me where you're from too. I'd love to know. I'll give people another minute to come on. But hopefully you saw what we're doing. We'll be doing the, hi Carly, Tadah Baby Basics long sleeve tee. So yeah, Ted is out of all of his clothes. Well, not all of them, but a few of them. So I'll load the projector up while we wait. Alright, when that loads up. Hey Aaron. I think you said you were from Sydney, didn't you? Hello from Sydney. Definitely look into that overlocker too. It's a good one, which you'll get to see tonight. Alright, I might get started. So we are going to be sewing the Tadah Baby Basics long sleeve tee. I will be using a projector, so you can see how that works briefly as well. I'm not going to go into specifics because I'm going to be doing this one pretty quickly. I'm just going to kind of go through it. Hey Anna, to give you an idea of how it goes. I actually think that I'm going to do, I might go through the Baby Basics like one a week for the next couple of weeks maybe. I'll talk to Lauren from Tadah and see if she's keen for that, but they're such easy, simple patterns, like they're really good to get done in a live sew along. But for this one, I'm going to be using a ribbed knit. I don't know if you can see that. This one's from Clover & Co. I really love their printed rib knit, so I'm going to do that. And then I'm using the solid, I think it's called Cinnamon from So Unique Fabrics for the neckbands. But let's get started. So I've already loaded up my pattern pieces. If this was you and you don't have a projector, you would be, hi Sarah, hi Quack, I'm not sure what your name is, sorry. You would be using your paper pattern. So you would have printed out your A4 or AO paper pattern and stuck it all together. So for me, Tadah are in the process of rolling over their patterns to a projector format, but what I do is I use the AO format on my projector, which is fine as well. So let's have a look. I've already selected my size, which is size 2. It goes from Prem to size 3, this pattern, so that's always good. I've got my, what's it called, percentage set up. So now I'm just going to load up my pieces. I'm going to move this so you can see now what I'm doing. So, yeah. Alright, so we've got our, what's this one, front, back, the long sleeves over here, so I'll pull it over when I'm ready. And then I'm going to be doing the neck band, not the neck binding. So let's cut it out. Get your fabric. We're going to be cutting this front piece on the fold. So I want my ribs to go up and down. So I'm just going to fold this over and line it up on my fold. Again, if you've got paper pattern pieces, it's going to look a little bit different for you, but this gives you a bit of an idea of how a projector works. And they're very worth it. Keep your eye out on Marketplace. I got mine from a school. A school was selling them. My friend Laura let me know about it, and I think we paid, I don't know, $200 or something. And then my father-in-law put a stand together for me. And then I've got a sheet of galvanized iron under my cutting mat. And then I just use little magnets to hold it to my fabric without harming the fabric. I put a fresh blade in, but I sometimes find the rib knit is a bit difficult to cut. So we're going to cut our, oops, a bit of a dodgy cut there, but you won't be able to tell. Cut our front piece. I'd love to know, are you team rotary or team scissors? I changed my rotary blade, but it's actually a little bit dodgy. Alright, I'm going to put a little F on here so I know it's the front in tailor's chalk. In case you're wondering, this line is if you are making a tea dress, like a little peplum style dress, so we don't need that. So I put my front to the side. And then I'm going to pull the back over so it's closer to me. I'm actually going to flip it around. So as you can see, working with a projector, amazing. Yeah, rotary is the best, isn't it, Erin? I mean, you still have to have scissors, but... Alright, so we'll line this one up. My pattern matching isn't going to match at all, like my little stripes, but you know, I don't care, because I think that adds to the character. Plus, my son isn't going to give two hoots either, and he'll grow out of it in 2 minutes, so... This is our back that we're cutting. Yeah, we'll just give this a little trim. Now I'm not going to put B on the back because if it doesn't have a mark on it, I know it's my back. So that's my back piece. We're halfway there. This is how quick a rotary, a projector is, and a rotary cutter really. No pinning and all that jazz. All right, our sleeves. Line these up. I should probably try and get them a bit straight, shouldn't I? Otherwise it might look a little bit dodgy. Alright. Got our magnets. Cut this bad boy out. Now, I don't know if you noticed, and I forgot to say, but I did layer these up so that I'm only cutting the sleeves once. And I've got them right sides together so that I've got mirrored pieces, because I think this does have a front and a back. Alright, now I did notice there was a little mark here, so I'll mark that, and I just want to double check. Front of sleeve is here. So I'm just going to mark my front of sleeve so I know. And that was the shoulder seam. So that is all the rib knit pieces we need. How easy was that? Sorry, someone's saying something. Oh yeah, Bron, game changer. Like, I cannot sing a projector's praises high enough. It cuts down the time you muck around with printing and sticking and all that jazz. It's so much quicker. Like, I can cut, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6 patterns in a night sometimes. Alright, last thing, our neckband. And then we can get started with the fun stuff. So I might just bring this over a bit closer so I'm not leaning. I'm just trying to make sure I get it in the frame. No, it doesn't need to be attached to the roof. Bron just asked, does it need to be attached to the roof? There are different types of projectors. There is ceiling mount ones. I've got an ultra short throw. I actually wrote a whole blog about it, about the different types, which you can find on my website, so untitled.com.au. So I can try and link that in the comments, or yeah, just take note and have a look on my website, because I've got some examples, like some pictures of examples set up and the differences between them. You can also join the Facebook group Projectors for Sewing. They are an incredible wealth of knowledge about projectors. I know there's lots of people that just kind of lurk in there gathering information and then one day take the plunge, but yeah, projector sewing, schmicko. Alright, we are done for pattern pieces. I can show you my projector setup, Lisa. Just let me put this away first. Just otherwise I get myself in a big mess. Alright, before I show you my projector setup, no, I'll do that first actually. Sarah, I'm using magnets. So I just mentioned I've got, I'll just flip the camera. I've got a piece of galvanized steel under here, and I just have these little magnets from Bunnings, and yeah, they hold my fabric down. Depends, if they're big enough, I will put them in my scrap tub. Otherwise, I've just got a bag down here. I am planning to try and separate them out so I can recycle them, but that's on my to-do list. All right. Projector. So I have it on a custom-made steel stand that my father-in-law made me and my husband. So that just sits there. It projects down onto my cutting mat, which is a piece of MDF on some, what are they called? Kallax units. And then I've got my ironing board, which doubles as my computer mount. And yeah, and then I've got like all my threads and stuff. So yeah, so I'm lucky, but you can get ones that go from the roof. So yes, now I'm going to flip it again. No, I'm not. I'm going to come over here. Sorry. I've not done one of these before, so we're going to, like, not live anyway. Get some lights back on. Mental note, clean up my lounge area next time. Right, turn that down. Okie dokie. Now, these are the pieces that we have to work with. Got our 2 sleeves, long sleeves. Our, what's this one? Back, because it doesn't have a mark on it. You can also tell because the neckline is higher, but not by much, it looks like in this one. And front, yeah, marginal. These are my front pieces, and then we've got our neckband. So we are now going to come over to our serger, overlocker, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to see how I'm going to go with trying to give you the best view for this while still being able to practically sew. All right. Hopefully, did that work? Sorry, I thought I lost you all for a minute there. It's my forehead. All right. Sorry. We've got our overlocker. I've put in the threads that I want. I will generally always put a maxi lock stretch in my upper looper because it just gives it a little bit more give when you're sewing with knits. So as a general rule, I put maxi lock stretch in there. Otherwise, I just put general sewing thread in the others. Step 1, we are going to take, and I don't know if I'm following the pattern, so sorry, Lauren, I'm just going by memory of what to do. We are going to take, I'm going to lay it down so it's a bit easier to see. We are going to take our back piece and our front piece and lay them right sides together, matching up our shoulder seams, and clip. On both sides. So your pieces should look like this. We've got our front because we marked it with an F, right sides together. And we're going to sew or serge along these two seams here. Now, if you don't have an overlocker, that's okay. You can use a sewing machine with either a zigzag stitch or some machines have a specific lightning stitch or stretch stitch. Some even have a faux overlock stitch. So just have a look at your machine. But yes, you can use a normal machine. I just like an overlocker because it's cleaner, it's neater. I use mine all the time. So let's go. I also typically tend to use clips with knits because I find they don't mark the fabric like pins will. So my go-to is clips. All right. Step 1 done. We have our front and our back. We are now going to attach the arms. So we know that this is the front because we marked it on the pattern. We're going to lay it out, right side up, double check, this is our front on the back. And we want to attach right sides together again. And we marked our little shoulder seam. So we're going to line up the shoulder seam with our mark and clip. And then we're going to attach our front, clip, and our back. What a funky one of those. You can add extra clips if you need to. I don't need to, but for the purposes of showing you, I will on this side. So as you can see, it's sort of gently stretched out, not really by much, and aligns. We have our right sides together, very important. So when we turn it out, our seams will be on the inside. We repeat that for the other side. So again, we're going to lay our, oh no, we need to go right sides up, sorry. Lay this out right sides up. Get our piece, our, what's this called, sleeve? Good with the words tonight. Line up our shoulder seam notch with our shoulder seam and clip. I generally like to put my shoulder seams towards the back. It's a really personal preference. It's just because they can be quite bulky. So again, clip the front. Oh, I put some out already. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask them. I will try to answer them as they come up. But how are we going so far? It's pretty easy, hey? I don't even know how many minutes. We've been on for 20 minutes. That's not too bad. Okie dokie. and clip. Now we're going to take this and sew / overlock, serge, whatever you want to call it, all along the arm side. No, it's not the arm side, it's the arm head, I guess. I don't know, actually. The armhole, we're doing this, the shoulder seam, that's probably better. I'm a bit loose, as you can tell. Let's go with the flow. Okie dokie. Let's attach. Right, let's have a look. We caught all our seams. Yep. Looking good. Let's do side 2. It's important when you're overlocking to make sure you do get both raw edges. Otherwise, you'll end up with holes. Yes, Bron, you will be able to catch up. It'll be like in my videos, I think. I'll link it in my stories soon too as well, so you'll be able to see it. All right, we're nearly done. We're halfway there. So now, this is what it's looking like if you put it up. The next thing we need to do is, again, right sides together. Take our pieces and we're going to clip all the way down each side. Now, it's always important to try and get your underarm seam lined up. So I will generally pop a clip in there first and work from there. Although I'm a naughty girl and I don't really clip, but that's because I've been sewing a long time. So beginners, clip. This is my don't do as I do, not as I say. Ha ha ha. All right. So we did that, and then we go down the other side. Rib knits are kind of good too because they do stick together a little bit, so you don't really need to pin as much. But if you're working with something like swim or sports performance, that can be quite slippery. You definitely need to pin that, and I definitely clip that as well. Okay, put that out the way. So we've got side 1. This is our arm all the way down. And repeat on the other side. So, we're going to do the underarm seam first. So as you can see, I'm just trying to get these lined up as close as possible so that we get a nice clean underarm seam. Not that it really matters, like, I don't know about you, but I don't go around inspecting people's underarms. But it's just satisfying. As a sewist or sewer, it's very satisfying when things line up. Well, I find it is. So there. Down here. So we've done our second side. So now on each one, we're going to sew / serge. Oops, I missed the. Down each side with right sides together. Let's go. So again, you really want to make sure you've got those 2 raw edges lined up. Because you'll curse yourself otherwise. Now I'm going over the underarm seam. Let's see how close we can get. Got the snapperazzi over here. My husband's taking photos for me. Side one. Now let's do the other side. Got our second underarm seam. Let's see how close we can get. Mel Bunny. I have been sewing, my mum taught me when I was like 8 or 9. I'm now 35. But I did take a bit of a, I haven't sewn solidly that whole time. But solidly, maybe the last 5 years more. But yeah, I sewed before that as well. Moment of truth. So your garment should now look like this. It's inside out. We're going to turn it the right way around. Let's check those underarm seams. Oh, look at that. Oh, double goodness. Pretty happy with that. I will now tell everybody, look at my son's underarms. So like I said, when we were cutting it, I wasn't going to get the sidelines up, but I don't really care. I've actually done pretty good on the sleeves too, lining those up. Oh, doing pretty well tonight for on the fly. Now, the neckband. Neckband is something that a lot of people are a little bit scared of. However, as long as you do it slowly, carefully, and following these steps, you can't go wrong. So hang on, I'm just going to have a drink. Thirsty work talking. All right, we've got our neckband and we're going to sew it. You're going to fold it in half with the right sides together. I know it's the right sides together because I don't know if you can see, but there's like little lines on this side, the knit, and this is the flat side. So this is the right side, so I'm going to sew it right sides together along the short edge. So I'm just going to sew that quickly. So this is our neckband now. Now we're going to fold it wrong sides together with your raw edges aligned. If I'm a good girl, I'm going to iron it. So hang on, I'm just going to turn my iron on. But we can do this while we wait. So wrong sides together, raw edges aligned. And we're going to quarter the neckband. I cannot stress enough how important it is to quarter your neckband. If you want a nicely sewn neckband that doesn't look pulled or stretched or weird, you have to quarter your neckband. It is the number one way to make sure that your neckband is going to look nice. There's still obviously some finesse in doing it, but you will find your life so much easier if you quarter your neckband. And it's so simple. So we've got our back one. I just did it in half. Got my front one, my front piece. I fold it in half again with my back seam and front pin aligned. I've got my next point. Pop a pin in it. This is the only time I will use pins on knits because it does pierce the fabric easier and it's more precise than a pin. Got our other side. All right, now I'm just going to give this a quick press. Bear with me. So I've pressed that now. Now it is equally important to quarter your neckline. To do this, fold it in half, match up your shoulder seams so that your back piece is in half. You can even mark it when you're doing your on the fold if you wanted, and pop a pin in. Again, I can't stress enough how important this step is. Shoulder seams again, front bit, pin. Now this is the bit that most people get tripped up on because they think that the shoulder seams are the quarter point on the other way. They're not. I don't think they ever are. So when you line up, when you pull your two front and back quarters together and line it up, you'll see that your quarter point actually sits, what's that, like a quarter of an inch in front of your shoulder seams. And it might not seem like much, but it can make a huge difference. So pop your pin in. Thanks, babe. Sorry, I'm just getting a tea hand delivered, which is handy. So again, line up your front and back. And there's your quarter point. This side's a bit funny because I was a bit funny with it. But anyway, pop your pin in. Desperately need new pins. These are blunt. Now, when I lay this down flat, you're going to see that my quarter points are not my shoulder seams. They are in front of my shoulder seams. And like I said, it might not seem like a lot, but the bigger sizes you get, the more difference it can be, and it can make a huge difference. So never ever skip this part. Okay, now we're going to attach our neckband to our T. So we're going to take it and align or line up. I always put my back seam at the back. So I line it with my pin and I put a clip in for this bit. Clip, pull the pin out. I'm just paranoid about going over pins with my overlocker because they're not friends. Again, line the two pins up, pop a clip in. Line the two pins up, pop a clip in. Last one, line the two pins up, pop a clip in. So now your neckband should look like this. So we are going to have to stretch it as we sew. That's normal, but it should look like that. Again, please never, ever, ever skip that part because it's just so important. Now, when you put your neckband on, you can add a label. So for me, Tiff, do the clips stay in place? No, they shouldn't slip or move. They have little, like, you can't really see in this, but they've got little knobs on them, I guess, that help them stay in place. But this step is great for if you're going to attach a label. So I just have some of these little sew and tell labels that I had made up. I got them off AliExpress. I can link it somewhere for anyone that wants to know. But I will then, I don't know where my fabric pen's gone, but anyway, down here I just write the size so that I don't forget. And also when I like if I gift it, people know what size it is. And I'm just going to pop it under my back. Also helps my kids know where the back is because Gemma is notorious. Well, actually she knows where the back is and she still wears it back to front, but you know, I try. So this bit, I like to sew with the right sides up. You can sew so you see it that way. It really doesn't matter. It's just however you prefer to sew. We're going to take our first clip out. Again, this time you're making sure all three edges are aligned. And this is where a few people get tripped up as well. They'll miss a little bit of the neckband or they won't get their t-shirt all in. Just, it's all learning. I've done it too. I still do it sometimes if I'm not paying attention. I'll miss things. But you just go over it again. So just don't be afraid to try. All right. So we just start to get this on so we can get a bit of a handle on the fabric. I like to make sure I've got a little bit that's done so it makes it a bit easier now when I'm stretching as I go. Because again, I want to make sure that I've got those 3 edges aligned. So I've got my t-shirt fabric and then I've got my 2 neckband pieces. I'll link it somewhere for you, Lisa, or DM me and I'll tell you. It's just a AliExpress. I think I got like 100 for $35 or something. So we're just stretching as we go, making sure we're catching all 3. Next clip, take it out. Some people are tempted to skip the quartering on kids' sizes because they're like, oh, it's not that hard, you know, it's not that hard to gently stretch. You can tell, like, it just, the only time I wouldn't quarter a round is really on cuffs, like sleeve cuffs, because they're small enough you can stretch it to fit. But just don't be tempted. You know, it's an extra couple of minutes for a much nicer finish. Halfway now. Again, keeping note that I'm catching all 3. All right. And I will just snip this. So that's our label. It was a little bit wonky, but anyway, it's not too bad on the outside. So look at our tee. We're almost done. All right, I'm going to cover stitch my neckband and my sleeves and hem. Oh, no, Mummy, you should always quarter, always, always, always. So I'm just going to trim these off so it's a bit neater. But yeah, this is how we're looking so far. So I think we're 40 minutes in, and obviously I'm explaining, so it's taking a little bit longer, but I could get a tee done in like 20 minutes. It's really not that hard. So we've got that. We're going to then fold over our sleeves, and I should probably be a good girl and iron it. I never do, but I will because I'm trying to teach you all the right thing. So fold it up. I usually go, I don't know, 1/2 inch on each side. The instructions probably say really different. Sorry, Lauren. Fold that up, and then I'll fold that up as I do it, as I iron it. But you can do a twin needle on a machine. I highly recommend playing around with your twin needle settings to get the right settings. I've got a cover stitch, so I'm going to show you. Have a look at this neckband as it is. It looks okay. You know, I used to just deal with that. But when I cover stitch this, it is going to look so much neater. It's going to sit so much flatter. Like I love a cover stitch neckband. It's so, so pretty. But I'm going to take you over to my iron. Get to look at my pretty floor. And I will just iron out my sleeves. It does make it easier. And then I'll do my bottom sleeve. I'm doing it up like not quite 1/2 inch. I'm a bit of an eyeball kind of girl. Just eyeball it. That's gone a bit wonky there. But fixed. Like I said, I'm a little bit fast and dirty sometimes. Hence why I don't make to sell. Yeah, I know. I don't really iron unless it's sewing either, but I have to say, pressing, especially if you're working with wovens, which I like to work with as well, so important to press. Like, it makes a really big difference in the finish of your garment. So I will just say, make sure you iron your wovens particularly. Okie dokie, artichoke. Now we're going to do our cover stitching. This is my cover stitch machine. I might see if I can get it even a little bit closer so you can see. You'll see how it works. Now I do need to just thread up my lower looper. Oh, excuse me. Which I need to steal from my overlocker, because I want the same taupey kind of colour. So I'll just quickly thread this. It might look scary, but it's actually dead easy to thread. Much easier than an overlocker anyway. All right, that is our cover stitch done. So I start from the back with my neckband. And I've got it on a narrow stitch. I will take it out to a wide when I get to the sleeves and hem, but for the neckband, I really like a narrow stitch, so I'm just going to go around. I'm actually getting a new cover stitch soon and I can't wait. Alright, so with a cover stitch you can't chain off. So you get a very important tool, very important, this tool. Get it under there. Didn't get both of them. These up. Oh, fine, I'll go this way. No, you don't stretch the neck as you sew. You just... So, hang on, I'll take it over here so you can have a look at it. But look how much neater and flatter that neckline sits. So I have lost some of the tag under there, but that's okay. You do need to tie these pieces off, so I'll do that after. And you do that for all of them. So I'll do that for my sleeves as well. But the neckband now sits so much flatter. It's just a really, really pretty finish. So I will now do the rest of my pieces and then it's done. Like, that's how simple a tee is. And like I said, you know, I've been teaching as I go. Well, I was gonna quickly change this to a wide. This would normally take me 20 25 minutes to sew a tee. And this is the same process for adults as well. It's just more material and a bigger, you know, area you're working with. So the neckbands are bigger and the pieces are bigger, but it's exactly the same. So t-shirts honestly are one of the easiest things you can sew, with knit particularly. The only thing about a cover stitch is you do it blind. So like I can't sew underneath and know where I'm sewing. I have to just kind of follow the underneath bit, because otherwise I would get the funny looking come out thing on the other side. If that makes sense. It'll make more sense when I show you this hem actually. So again, special tool, just really just a needle gauge, So this is the underside. I don't know if that's in focus, is it? Yeah. Anyway, that's the underside. So if I tried to sew reverse, so I could sort of see where I was going, I would get the double lines underneath and the overlock flat lock on top. So I don't really want that. But that's our first sleeve. Let's go with sleeve 2. Keep your eye on Marketplace, Sarah. You might find one. You can use a cover stitch on woven, but you don't really need to. Like you could use it on the hems still. Cover stitches are predominantly used for the hems on knits. It's also often used on activewear to go down the seams, like as an extra locking sort of thing. You can use a single needle machine, Carly. You would just use it, you can either use a twin needle or you can zigzag. So that's my second one. You can zigzag stitch around your neckband, around your hems. Like sometimes it's actually a really cool effect. Like I did some swimwear and I zigzagged all my seams. And I actually really liked it. Like I thought it looked really funky. So a cover stitch is a luxury. Like, and I'm aware of that. I got this because my grandma had left me some money and I thought I would, you know, put it towards something that I would remember her by and sort of up my sewing game. This is going a bit wonky, but the next cover stitch I'm getting, which I should hopefully get in the next week or two, I've been saving up for, so that's a baby lock that I'm getting. But yeah, they are a luxury. You can do it with a twin needle or a zigzag stitch. It's just quicker to do this. Like I haven't had to get my machine out and change it. I can just sort of, you know, go from my overlocker to this, and I haven't touched my machine. I'm doing this a little bit wonky, sorry guys. Alright. Alright, let me bring you back over here. And we have our tea. I might actually bring it over here so you can see. I can bring it, sort of lay it out a little bit better. we have our t-shirt. Long sleeve baby basics tee. So the last things I need to do are go along and tie off all my cover stitch threads so that they don't come undone. But as you can see, it's not that scary to make this t-shirt. It is so simple, so quick. Like, it's really easy. You know, I'm probably going to make another 3 of these, not tonight because I'm tired, but another 3 of these in the next week because Ted's running short on long sleeve tees. And the sky's the limit. Like, you can use rib knit, which is good in coming into winter. You can use cotton lycra. You know, you can use a few different things. So hopefully, I'll bring it up a little bit. Hopefully that was helpful for you. Like I said, I might go live again next Wednesday and do one of the other baby basics. They do come in bundles, so this is part of the summer bundle. But next week I might do something for the winter bundle. They have really cute footed tighties. So cute. So I think the bundle's worth $38 or something. But you get 5 patterns, and again it goes from prem to size 3. So I've got a friend who's due to have a baby like any day, and I need to make some footed tidies. So I might make those next week, and you'll see how, like, they're even simpler than this, I reckon. So if you want to follow along next week or just be ready, you can buy the patterns. I'll pop a link maybe down below. And if you've got any questions, you can always DM me. But hopefully you found that helpful. Hopefully I was okay to watch. I know I'm a bit funny sometimes. But yeah, thanks everybody, and have a really awesome night. Bye.